Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hiya.
I just want to do a video at the moment. Please excuse me not looking at you because I'm going to have to keep looking at the road so I don't crash. I want to do a video mainly about processed food and wheat in particular, because I chose to have a Cornish pasty at the service station, which is very rare for us. You know, we do mainly eat just raw food. I never normally eat processed foods at all, but in a way it's interesting because it shows me the difference, you know. So I've just eaten something that most people within the construct are eating every
All
day
the time.
or regularly, you know, like the wheat particularly. And the first thing I noticed with it is I feel a lot of itching, you know. I mean, I do have a bit of a wheat intolerance, but in honesty I think most people do, because I feel
So
like
many people do, yeah.
the wheat has been messed about with quite a lot. But I've got like itching through my body in different places, you know. It's almost like as if like the itches are moving, you know. I can feel it around my face, on my back, my arms, my legs, even my toes before. And I can also sense that I'm much less aware and present in the moment. It's a bit more like not really going into a dream state. It's not that altered a perception, but I'm more mental and I'm less clear and here. We've just had some music on before I decided I wanted to do this video, and normally it's an album that I'm really with and really in, and like I just noticed it was on like about track 6, and I feel like I've not engaged with it at all. You know, it's like I've been aware that it's on, but it's like I'm not hooked into it like clearly as I normally would be.
The thing is, I recognise what you mean, and I know it myself. I know how wheat affects me as well, and I feel the same thing. I feel the disconnection from it's like it disconnects you from the emotional body, from the grounding. It's like irritation on the system, and when your system's irritated, you can't get the proper signals that your body's sending you.
And it's like distractions. I do genuinely feel that it's like I'm squinting again as well. You know how I am like when I'm, you know, like as if I'm not dealing with the light very well. That's something else as well. But I do feel like a lot of these foods, it's like I'm scratching all the time. I do feel a lot of these foods literally have been engineered to make us better hosts for the reptilian energies. And, you know, like a lot of these foods I feel are things that support making our body system like more acidic, like less oxygen flow, less clear. You know, it makes us easier to use.
These foods have been engineered.
Yeah, it's the factory thing, you know. Like I'd got a sort of image in my head of like the factory with all these pasties there and stuff, and like so many of these foods, you know, I genuinely feel that these foods have been engineered to make us better hosts for other energies. You know, it changes the acidity particularly, but it changes the biosystem that makes us much more easy for other energies to work within. It's quite hard to maintain awareness and focus, you know. I feel like as if I could just be sort of switched off.
Well, it's like wheat is like a drug.
Easily.
A drug, and it's very
it's very sedating.
Sedating, that's the word, yeah, exactly.
But it's also the grain. It's not very easy for our bodies to deal with and process these grains and the lectins in them. It's like it creates almost, it's a bit like a sandpaper effect in the stomach and in the colon and everything. And I feel like it weakens the walls of our stomach and our easier then for parasitic energies. It makes it easier for energetic beings to come into our system.
Doorways.
Because we're breaking our protection. And none of this is by accident. This isn't, just an unlucky thing. This is all deliberately being done.
Look at our addictions to wheat and coffee and all this stuff all over the planet. Like,
Everywhere
it's full
that
on.
we've travelled, like bread is a massive thing, pastry stuff is a massive thing, caffeine, alcohol of course, cigarettes, like there's so many things that you'll see like world over really that people are digesting, and I really feel like most of this has been engineered by other energies that want to use our body systems and want us in a state where it's easy for them to use us. If people are eating a lot of these foods, I mean, for most people, bread, give us this day our daily bread. People are eating these things all the time. We're keeping ourselves in a state where we wouldn't even have the awareness levels to understand what these foods are doing to us. That's why I'm doing this video now, because normally, of course, I don't touch wheat. Normally, I don't have any of these kind of foods. I don't have processed foods. So, in a way, it's quite interesting for me to do that very occasionally, just to see, just to watch what's happening to me, to watch what's going on in my body. Like I've got pain where I know there's a weakness in like this side of my colon, and that's the grain again. I get that with that.
I've felt for a long time that the natural foods have a protective spirit because they have the spirit of the plant or whatever, and when we eat those foods, it's protecting on our system. It's gentle, it's in harmony with our body, it's harmonic food.
Well, it's like the body recognises it as food as well. That's the thing with natural foods. It's like the body goes, this is food, I know what to do with that.
That's it.
Whereas a lot of this stuff, the body just kind of goes into a state of shock when you put these foods into it, because it's almost like trying to digest plastic bags or something, like the body goes, whoa, what the fuck's that? What do I do with that? So it goes into a state of shock while it tries to come up with the right acidic mix in the body to try and do something with the food.
They're non-harmonic. They give you what you essentially need for body function.
Stay alive.
But they don't give you what you need on your deeper levels. They don't give you what your spirit needs or what your soul needs. So you're always left feeling like you're missing something, like you've still not got what you need, and you still want to eat more.
It makes you want to eat more, which then compounds the problem even more. It's like you could die of starvation while stuffing 50 pasties down your neck every day, I do feel a bit like headachy with that as well.
The natural foods are there for a reason,
Yeah. I do feel tireder as well. It's like it's quite, it's very heavy on the system, that food,
The thing is, we just accept these things, and if you've eaten this stuff like every day, how are you supposed to know the effects of something? It's when you take away everything and you go, okay, you take it all away, you just, I don't know, maybe stick to something very simple, and then you can tell what something's doing to you, because otherwise people are just going to go, well, yeah, whatever, that doesn't affect me, but I'm smoking 10 cigarettes, and I think that stopping wheat doesn't affect me, It's like, it's no point just stopping one thing that's an issue on your system. You need to stop it all in order to figure it out, sort of thing.
That's why it's like elimination diets, isn't it? Cutting everything back and then just introducing one thing to see what its effect on the system is. It's like I can feel different things within my body system from having that pasty, and I do feel like I could be a fair bit dumber than I was before having it. But it's like where you wouldn't really take things seriously.
Yeah.
You know, it's like smokers or stuff like that, you know, people taking drugs. It's like, you know, you laugh along at it all, like, you know, like donuts or whatever else.
With the natural foods, is the vibration, it's like sacred,
Yeah.
you know, and when we're eating foods that are made with just the intent of making money, because that's what's behind it, the intention isn't something that's life-giving and whatever.
It's
You know, a lot of the time it's just for money.
as well. It's designed to make us addicted. It's designed to make us want more of it. It's designed to dumb us down. You know, there's so many agendas with these foods, and the difficult thing with it is, like, none of us choose to incarnate here. I mean, there might be some edge where we want the experience of what it's like to lose our awareness, but in general, none of us would choose to come here and say, I'm going to just numb myself out my whole life and not even be aware of it. You know, that isn't going to be the path that we chose. In our soul truth, we don't want foods that are going to be drugging us and making us friggin' stupid, you know. And there's been a lot of work done to make it seem like it's like cool or funny to be stoned or drugged or whatever else, but to be honest, it's just bloody stupid. And the foods are making us that way, these kind of foods.
We're more happy to be in our cage. This is one of the things I felt like, you know, like the more cleaner I get, the more I go, oh, hang on, and you start to see around you and wake up and go, oh, you know, actually, whatever, you know, like, I don't want to be, I'm not sure what I'm saying.
Really funny. The stupid thing with this as well, like, I'm realising, you know, like, obviously I'm driving on a motorway at the moment. I'm surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of other people driving, most of whom have been ingesting these kind of foods, and maybe, you know, they'll have them in their system at the moment, like I have just now. And, like, I'm aware of the difference in myself by eating those foods, you know, because in a way I was feeling like, you know, I shouldn't really be driving in a drugged state, which is almost what it feels like eating those foods, because it's quite heavy, it's quite sedating, it's doing stuff to the, like, biochemistry of the brain. You know, we're all accepting this. We're accepting that it's normal. You know, so many people driving past me, driving with me in this carriageway, are going to be having their, you know, I've seen loads of people going past with their Costa coffees and stuff like that, you know. So everybody is driving under the influence of drugs. And, you know, it's so normal that it'll sound fanatical me saying that rather than it being a truth. Just a simple truth. It'll sound extremist me saying that because it's so normal and so everyday. It's a bit crazy, really, if you think about it. But you can only see the real difference if you do take these things away, if you actually get some clarity back and some awareness back, and then reintroduce an item of these type of foods. And then you can actually see what difference it does make.
Shall we put some music on?
Yeah, I think that's all I need to say just now.
We've got this lovely little stereo. It's like real old school. Look at this. Old school.
I feel like I should go back to the beginning of this CD, actually, to be honest, and try and listen to it again properly instead of it just being drifty background.
Yeah. Got some funky stuff going on here. From Australia, 1974. Right. See you later, guys, people.